Anyways, I don't know if we actually need that one. So we create a new collection just by hitting that, and we can double click it to rename it to be whatever it is we want. So I'm going to call this sprinkles. Okay. And because we have two types of sprinkles, we have the sphere round sprinkle, and then we have these long sprinkles, I'm going to create two other collections within this collection. So hitting new again, you can see it's placed it underneath it, and I'm going to call this one round. And then clicking sprinkles again, I'll add another collection, and this one I will call long. Oh, wait, sorry, this one, long. There we go. Okay, so to move something to a collection, you can do it one of two ways. One, you can select the sphere, which is the round. Remember, it's this little guy over here, the little tiny round sprinkle. You can just drag that into the that collection, and you can see it's now moved it there. The other way is in your 3D viewport. If you select all of the objects that you want to move to a new collection, hit M, and it brings up this, and you just say move to round. And then clicking sprinkles again, I'll add another collection, and this one I will call long. Oh, wait, sorry, this one, long. There we go. Okay, so to move something to a collection, you can do it one of two ways. One, you can select the sphere, which is the round. Remember, it's this little guy over here, the little tiny round sprinkle. You can just drag that into the that collection, and you can see it's now moved it there. The other way is in your 3D viewport. If you select all of the objects that you want to move to a new collection, hit M and it brings up this. I need to say move to the sprinkles long. Sub collection. There we go. And now they're all moved there. And now this one here, if you wanted to give this a name, you could. We got the camera, we got the light, we got the plane. Yeah, you know what? Let's move our donut and our icing. Let's move that to a new collection as well. So M, and we can actually create a new collection from the move options as well. So I'm going to go new, and let's call this let's say donuts, because we're going to duplicate it and make more donuts in the future. So donuts. Okay, great. So now this one here has got the camera, the light, and the plane. So I'm going to do what I sometimes do with a scene, is just call this one ENV, which is for environment. Since this is a tutorial, I'll actually just type it out. I'm not going to be lazy. Environment. Okay, so we've got some organization in our scene so that as we add and grow our scene, it's not going to get too crazy. All right, so it's also good that we've created collections, because we can now use that to scatter across the geometry nodes. So with our donut here, so the icing and the donut, we're going to create a dough. This is, we've got the button. It's now independent. We've got the modify stack that we to a new collection. Hit M and it brings up this, and you just say move to the sprinkles long, and move our donut. So one, you just organ to good that we. So we're going to create sprinkles, move it, and then click the making this one over here. If you hold the select button, the run sprinkles. All right, so one. This is actually not the long sprinkles. The okay. So more than delete that. Don't just off it. It's just, but you need to. And now it's got a collection info node rather than object info node. Drag that into your instance input. It's because of global. You use cut to. You can see it's actually using all 4 of them on each point. So then you click pick instance, and now it's going to use one of those, not all 4 of them together. Okay, so it's good. It's using it, but what's going on? Well, the reason this one was easier with its round sprinkles is that the rotation of the objects didn't matter because it was round. Now that we have long sprinkles, you can see the rotation matters and it's currently screwed up. So how do we fix that? The first way, well, yeah, there's a number of things you need to do to make it work correctly. You'll see, is we want to take the rotation of the face. So the face of these mesh here, we want it to affect the objects, right? So we take the output of our distribute points on faces, the rotation of that, and drag it into the rotation input of the instances. And now you can see it's having some effect. It's still not right, but that is because these sprinkles are currently just pointed upwards. So it thinks, okay, well, you want to point them all outwards. Anyways, to fix that, I mean, you could fix it you could actually fix it in Geometry Nodes. This is simpler. So if we just rotate those sprinkles along the x-axis, so R, X, right? And then we just want to lie them down flat. So essentially 90 degrees. You could type in 90 degrees, or holding down Control will move it in 5-degree increments. Okay, so 90, and then do a single click. Okay, so why has that not worked? Well, it's because, as I mentioned before, when you're scaling or rotating things, it's not actually saved to the object. So to apply it, you have to go Control A and then say rotate. So now you can see what I said by you need to do a lot to make it work correctly. The rotation is working, but it's not doing what you would expect. And that's because Geometry Nodes are so flexible. You have to tell it exactly what you want to do. We want actually random rotation. So around each of the points, we don't want to each have the exact same rotation. We need to randomize it. So for that, if you want to tweak the rotation on anything between this point here on this dotted blue line, let's just move that out of the way, we need to add Shift A, Utilities, Rotation, Rotate, not Euler, Euler. Yes. I know. They went with the weird pronunciation. I think it was a Frenchman, right? Could be German. Doesn't matter. Same, right? just to annoy all the Europeans. Anyways, rotate Euler, and we're just going to drop it on that line till it lines up. Okay, so nothing's happened currently, but with this, we could change the rotation of our sprinkles up here. But you'll notice that as you rotate it, it's kind of weird. It's not the rotation that you would expect for each point. It's the relative to the actual object as a whole, right? Which just this means we need to change from object to local. And now, as you move it around, you can see we're able to rotate those sprinkles. But again, it's not changing the like randomizing it. It's giving a solid value. So to randomize it, if we drag out of the rotate by input and then type in random, it'll bring up this, and we're looking for random value. Click, and now we get this. Ooh. So this node looks kind of scary, right? It's got a whole bunch of different values in it, and it says vector, and it's very, very foreign. It's actually easier to understand it from a float point of view. With the random value, if it's in a float state, it's going to generate a value from 0 to 1 on each point. So if you've got like 10 points, one of them is going to be like 0.015, one of them is going to be like 0.92, and one's, whatever. When it's in vector state, it's the exact same thing. You've got min and you've got max, but there are 3 values. And the reason for that is that there are 3 axes. There's the x-axis, there is the y-axis, and there's the z-axis. And same here, right? So you're able to define what type of rotation on each axis. So if we set both, and by the way, if you want to change multiple values at once in Blender, you can just click and drag down, and then you can change all of them. So we set all of them to 0. And now you could see this bottom one is going to be the Z, because it's X, Y, Z. It doesn't tell you, like, I don't know, because it's vector math. I guess there's other areas of Blender. Anyway, but this is the Z axis. If we increase this one, you can see that's the main one that we want to change, right? Because that's the one that makes the most difference. Now, you might also know, looking at this, you're probably thinking like, okay, well, we need to rotate it by 360 degrees. So we would set this to 360. But you can see they're more than rotating fully already. So what value is this exactly? This is radians. Oh, just to get real. So radians, degrees. I see, like, I had to ask ChatGPT before I recorded this. What's the difference? Radians are more mathematical and easier for mathematical equations. It's the circumference of pi. No. 2 pi is the circumference. Look, obviously I don't know. But what I'm trying to tell you is you just need double pi to make it 360 degrees, which is actually tau, to make it really complicated. It's tau. So double pi, so pi is 3.142. Tau is double that. And anyways, you get the idea. So you can type in tau and it'll actually give you the correct value. So that's 360 degree rotation. We also want it, because you can see this is the other axes, like the middle one spinning around. So we also want it on that one, because we've got a curved one. So let's make that tau. And then this top one is the X, which is actually going to make it rotate. Could, alter the scale. Going to give it. I'm getting pretty good at nailing relative to the actual object. So it's actually on that some variant. where like some bit has absorbed into the icing at a different angle than another, but just not too much, essentially, or else it starts to look like little marshmallows or whatever all over it. But guys, that's roughly it. That's the hard work. That was, I mean, I know that was very technical, but it was just 2 nodes. Rotate Euler, set it to local, and then this random value, and we're changing that to rotated. And we did it. We got nice looking rotation. Now, one thing we do have to change is the distance min. So because these longer sprinkles obviously are bigger, then the distance min has to change as well. So we can change that to something that makes sense. Let's go 0.04. That might have actually been pretty perfect. Let's try 3. 3's got a little bit. Oh, actually, you know what? The other thing, again, looking at reference, I like those big chunky looking sprinkles. So I want these to be bigger. So we could, alter the scale of the actual sprinkles, but we're working with geometry nodes and we've actually got a scale value right here. So we could change it here just as easily. So the scale, dragging down, and again, there's not just one value, there's 3 axes, so X, Y, Z, so drag down on all. 1.5 is going to give us some nice, big, chunky looking sprinkles. And now this distance value needs to be a lot bigger. So let's go 0.0, creating a radius over already. So join me in the next part and we will finally add some color. Good for me. Like collisions, it's nothing like that. It's a very simple, again, it's doing a point and then it's creating a radius around it. And if you do the correct amount, which for this is probably something like this, then it looks way too predictable and boring, which we don't want. So 0.006 looks pretty good for me with a scale of 1.5 for these. And that is it. I was going to put in the random color in this part. This is the part where we start making our donuts look sexy. So we're going to be coloring our sprinkles, finally, so it doesn't look so depressing. And then also getting into rendering to start making this actually look pleasing with shadows and light and everything else. So first of all, the sprinkles. Now, as you probably know, you could come in here and you could select a sprinkle. and then go, all right, I'm going to make a red sprinkle. And then I'm going to, don't do this by the way, I'm just showing you, make this aqua sprinkle. And then a blue sprinkle, right? And this does work, does exactly what you would expect. The problem with this though is that for one, the color is locked to that specific sprinkle. So this curved sprinkle is always red, okay? And the short sprinkle is always white. The other issue is that this is not easy to change the distribution of those colors. Like if I'm an artist and I'm looking this, I'm like, that's kind of boring because all the colors is like 25% blue, 25% white, 25, you know. I want to have maybe 80% one dominant color and then a few splashes of complementary colors. I can't do that. So there is a much, much easier way. So first, let me just clear all of these. And I'm going to create one new material. I'm going to call it sprinkles. And I'll actually show you how to quickly apply the same material to multiple objects at the same time, because we haven't done that yet. So I'm going to grab my round sprinkle, which is currently still over there by itself. I'll just bring it over here so it's part of the family. There we go. All right, so I've got one object with the material that I want to apply them all to. What I need to do is shift select all the objects that I want to have that material, and then lastly shift select again the object that has the material I want to apply them to, and you know that because it's highlighted yellow. Okay, then hit Control L. This brings up the link or transfer menu, and we want to link the materials. And now you can see our material has a 5 next to it because 5 objects are sharing this material. And that's it. And now, obviously, because they're linked, it means if I make a change over here, they're all going to be reflected. Great. Now, we're going to do something fancy. So let's go to the shading tab, which gives us access to our nodes. Oh, dear. Where have I? All right, let's go back. I'm trying to get to that sprinkle. Okay, to our nodes. Now, I want to introduce you to a little friend called Shift-A, input, the object info node. A very weird little node that just does some useful things when you might need it. So you see it pop up in a few tutorials. There's a bunch of stuff here that it can do. The most useful one for us in this instance is the random input. Drop